On today's Witch's Cabinet, we're going to be talking about traveling altars. Now, what is an altar? An altar is a structure upon which offerings are usually made for religious or spiritual purposes. It is also used to draw power into our magical workings and to separate us from the divine. Traveling altars, they make use of light, portable ritual items for convenience, so we can be able to take them and just go with it wherever we are. So why would you need a traveling altar? Well, there's several different reasons why you may need a traveling altar. Number one, you're traveling all the time. Like, for example, for those of you who go to a pagan convention, or you're just going out of town to somewhere else, or you're not even being able to spend the night at the house, you have to go spend the night somewhere else because of something. The reason is, being able to have a travel altar helps you to maintain balance. It also helps you to maintain that ritual that you have every morning. Some people, what they do is every morning that they turn around and they pray to their divine and give gratitude and thanks at their altar. They may do magical workings that's necessary. Like, for example, you may use a traveling altar when you have to go to a ritual with your church or with your coven. Number one, you're living with non-witches and pagans, and they're not very, very supportive in your spiritual beliefs. Or you may not have the room. A lot of times when it comes to altars, there's many different types of altars, depending on the religion, depending on the spirituality. And you know, it's ideal to have an altar for each and everything. Like, for example, you have your working altar, and then you have your ancestor altar, and then you have your money altar, and then you have your justice altar, and so many things. But you know what? That's great in theory. But when you turn around and actually try to put that in practice, it may not always work. Because some people may not have that amount of room to be able to do an altar for each and every little detail. What happens is that when you have a traveling altar, a portable altar, it's something that when you're looking for it, you want to make sure that it's very quick, it's convenient, and it's portable, and it works for you. That last portion is the major part. You want to make sure that it actually works for you, because the traveling altar ain't going to do you any good if it doesn't work for you. You also want to make sure that when you purchase one, you are finding one that you can be able to add things to, because not all portable altars come with every single thing. Altar is also depending upon the religion or the spiritual views, because a voodoo altar is totally different from a witch's altar. And just like if you may be a Christian pagan, that altar is going to be different than just from a regular witch's altar and a hoodoo altar, and so on. So when you're looking for an altar kit to be able to purchase, you want to make sure that it has your basic items that you will need, but it also has room for you to be able to expand upon it if you feel like, or you can be able to take things out of the kit that you don't use. One of our presenters, Moonlight Potions and Charms, was nice enough to provide us with their version of the altar on the go. This is a nice little paint can with a little handle, like here. And you know, it's not really that big. It's basically, it's small enough where you can put it into a suitcase. And see here, it's got this top to it that's very easy to come off. Oh, okay. So look at everything. See how everything is put in here. Okay, so let's see what's in this. All right. So let's take this out. Oh, this is our cloth. Oh, that is really nice. Really nice cloth. And then here is our chalice. And we got a pentacle as well. And then we have, our athame. Now this athame is a 16-in-1 pocket tool. That's what that is. Okay, there's your athame. And then we've got our offering dish and a shell, and that shell is for an incense cone that is provided. Nice. Nice. Let's see if I can get that. Yeah, there we go. It sits in there. And then we have your candles. And in this kit, they provide 2 white tea light candles. There you go. And I also like the fact that it comes in a plastic bag, because if the wax melts, I'm going to tell you something, I live in North Carolina and it gets really hot up here. I mean, it gets up into the 90s, sometimes in the hundreds, depending on the day and depending on what the weather wants to do. But it's very humid, and we have to be careful with our candles because our candles will actually melt. Now, it's not as hot up here as it is where Pam is at. Now, Pam, I believe she will turn around and say, hey, I'm a lot hotter than you are. And it's true, she lives in Florida, so it's very true. But, you know, like her, she has to turn around and be concerned about the wax melting in our candles. So I'm so glad that it comes in a individual bag, so that way if the candles actually do melt, it's not going to melt all over everything. Our little thing of matches there. And it comes also with, oh, there's your wand. See the little wand? Oh, that's so cute. The little wand. And then we have our salt and our feather. We have a feather. And it also comes in a little plastic bag. And the reason why they put the feather in there is because they don't want the feather to get bended and broken and all that other stuff. Or all the little whiskers to be, you know, kind of messed up. So they want to try to keep it really nice and neat for you. Oh, so here you go. You have all of this that comes into this one little bucket. And this is pretty much very complete. The only things that are missing from it is your statues of your personal deities, and also like a small tarot deck, you know, for your divination, or either a pendulum for your divination. So that is one of the few things missing. And the one thing that I do encourage every person to do is to put something that represents themselves, that honors themselves on their altar. And what I call that is the inner child. And the reason why I say that is because we must learn and understand that we ourselves are divine. We are deity, because that is what the deity has done. It has given us a portion of itself. And so we are so stressed out, and we are constantly working, and we're constantly go, that we don't seem to take the time to honor ourselves. And that is what the inner child is. Your inner child is where your magic comes from. That is where your creativity is. That is where your imagination is. That is where your laughter and your fun is in the inner child. What I usually do is I tell my clients that you need to put something, some small representation of yourself on your altar as well. But this is a traveling altar right now. This is pretty, like I said, this is very complete, except for a few minor things, which all of those are optional. This looks like a very complete set. Didn't take, what, less than 5 minutes to be able to take it out. And that is a good thing for it to be able to be set up. Let's see how long it's going to take us, or me, to put it back into the box. So let's start with the little feather here. We'll put the little feather back in. There we go, along with the salt. Make sure we take all the air out of it. Put it back in here. Get it nice and flat. There we go. And then we're going to put in our candles, our tea light candles. Put that in. Make that very, very flat as well. Have our pentacle and our offering in there. Take our wand, put a little one in there. Put our matches right there. Put our little incense thing in there, as well as our shell. Here's our shell. Here's our little incense thing. There we go. And it's taking me a little bit longer because I'm putting this back in its original plastic. Put in the anthony. And now let's fold this up. And I'm wrapping it up so that way there's a protection for the chalice. And look, voila, it's all in there. It took less than 5 minutes to put it in there. Now, if you still look in there, you can see there's room for you to put more things into it. It's very quick, it's very small. You don't even have to have a whole lot of room to be able to put this in. You can put this out very, very quick, put it up very, very quick. But this one is a representative of our presenter, Moonlight Potions and Charms, and you can go to www.moonlightpotionscharms.com and look for the altar on the go and be able to obtain one of your own. It's like I said, I love this little thing. Just grab it and run down to the circle and just do our little ritual, right? That's it for today's Witch's Cabinet. Thank you for watching.